Hello, this is a reading for Aquarius for the month of November 2022. Welcome Aquarius. I've pre-shuffled the cards, but I will give them a quick shuffle just to show you that it's authentic. I hope you're well today. This reading is done in real time. The video will not be edited in any way. I hope you enjoy the reading. I'll just give these a quick shuffle and I'll put them aside. I'll try not to shuffle too much. They have been well shuffled. We'll see what the cards have got for you today, what they want you to know, what might help clarify things for you. Oops. And what things you probably already know, but sometimes just hearing somebody else say it kind of puts things in a better place for you. Okay, we've dropped one. I'll put him back in just so it can be shuffled properly. So I'm an intuitive reader. I use a 10-card spread. It's my own spread. 5 along the top and 5 along the bottom. The past, the present, the future, and 2 in between. A little bit more shuffle, just one more go. And then we'll lay out the cards for you. I always use a double layer of cards, but I start with a base layer. So here we go. First card, 9 of Cups in reverse, the Magician in reverse, Queen of Wands in reverse, Ace of Wands in reverse, 3 of Swords upright, the Sun, that's a beautiful card, Death, 8 of Cups, 10 of Cups, and 5 of Pentacles. Okay, I'll talk a little bit about these cards and then I'll add the next layer so we've got some clarification. So the 9 of Cups is usually about feeling in a very good place because you've got a lot of the things you want in life. But he's in reverse. So perhaps you haven't got the things you want from life at the moment, but we'll keep going. We'll have a little look. The Magician is very much about the things you wish for, the things that you have in your mind, the things you manifest on earth, are the things you think about, the way you live your life is what you'll bring to your table. So if you're an angry person and you're always fighting with someone, that's what you'll bring to your table. If you're gentle and loving and kind, that's what you'll bring to your table. So it's what's above is what's below. But he's in reverse, but I still feel he's a good card. So we won't panic. Queen of Wands, she's a very fertile, very loving, very creative person. She can manifest more or less what she wants, but she too is in reverse. So perhaps you've been feeling that you're not getting what you need. That seems to tie in very much with the other card. Ace of Wands, a new creative opportunity, very fertile energies, a little bit of a gift from the cosmos. Perhaps what I mean by gift from the cosmos is sometimes it's kind of like people would say the planets are lining up so that you can get what you want. If you're thinking about starting a new business, for example, or thinking about, I'm going to give up my job, I'm going to become an artist, then this would be a good opportunity to do so. 3 of Swords is heartbreak. There's no other way to talk about this card. This one's always a painful card. It's it's upright, so there's sad times. And maybe you're sad about something, but we'll clarify that. Very down the bottom here, one of the first cards you've got is the Sun. No matter where this comes in your spread, this actually bodes very well for you. And it's quite an auspicious card. It has an energy of vitality, freshness, new enthusiasm, feeling confident, feeling happy, vibrant. It's a wonderful energy. Now you've got Death right next to it, but it's in reverse. Death itself is not necessarily a death, it's an ending of transformation. The Sun is on the horizon. The people are begging death not to come. So sometimes it's a resistance to change. It's very rarely an actual physical death, but it is possible that it is. 8 of Cups, walking away from something. So this means you've had enough, you can't take any more. I'm not putting up with this anymore. None of this is making me happy. I'm going to walk away. I'm going to try something else, something completely different, go somewhere different, do something different. 10 of Cups is usually a great card. This is also a very good card. Not too many negative aspects attached to this, even if it is in reverse. 10 of Cups is about the joys of life, the happy times with your families, enjoying life to the fullest, having sufficient money to do the things you want to do, not necessarily being rich, but having sufficient to go and enjoy yourself, have a lovely time with your family. And you've got the 5 of Cups at the end. 5 of Pentacles, I do apologise. 5 of Pentacles at the end. That's a feeling of destitution or being left out, tossed out in the cold maybe. If you'd been fired, for example, from your workplace, that's how you'd feel. You'd feel like you were out in the cold. If you'd been shunned by your friends, you'd feel you were out in the cold. And that's at the end. So you've got heartbreak and 5 of Pentacles at the end. So this is kind of a bit of a worrisome future for you. So here we go. This is the past, the recent past, the present, and the future. But again, all of these things, whenever something bad happens, it will take time to adjust. You will need to allow yourself time to grieve or to suffer the pain or to kind of go within and sort of lick your wounds, so to speak. But it does give you an opportunity to move forward. But with the Sun in your cards here, maybe this is not as dire as it looks. I'll clarify these cards with the next layer. So these are the Tarot Illuminati cards. They're very much cards that help you to focus on where the light shines on the card. Can we clarify the 9 of Cups in reverse, please, for Aquarius? 9 of Cups in reverse for Aquarius, please. Okay, you've got the World. An ending of a cycle, but a nice card. Usually quite an auspicious card. It can actually mean the birth of either something new or a new project, or even a birth of a child. And since the Sun is down here with a young person on it, it could be possible there's a birth of a child, in which case that's a lovely event. Let's clarify the Magician in reverse, please. Now this Magician has everything at his disposal. He's got his wand, he's got swords, he's got cups, and he's got money. So it's usually quite a happy card, and he can manifest. So he's manifesting. It's in reverse, but I still don't feel it's a really bad cup. And perhaps something you've wished for hasn't come about, but we'll have a look. We'll clarify that one for you. Okay, 5 of Pentacles, the same as this one at the end. Let you have a look. Again, out in the cold. But as you can see in both of these cards, I'll just put the cards down, in both of these ones, all is not lost. As you can see, there are light in the window. There's light in the window. So it's not necessarily total loss. Perhaps if the people in the card turned and went towards the house, they would be welcomed. They're choosing to walk that way. Let's clarify the Queen of Wands, please, for Aquarius. That's a very nice card, even though she's in reverse. Still a highly creative, highly fertile energy. Okay, the King of Wands in reverse. So you've got the King and the Queen, both here. So it's a position of strength, but in reverse for both of them. A position of strength in creativity, fertility, new projects, new enterprises, even trying to fall pregnant perhaps. Let's have a look. Ace of Wands, so you've got Ace, King, Queen all next to one another. So very powerful energy just here on the table. They're all in reverse, but that can also mean delays. Let's clarify the Ace of Wands, please, for Aquarius. Okay, Nine of Pentacles. It's a lovely card. That's somebody alone, standing in a comfortable position with sufficient finances to enjoy life. Shows authority, respect, beautiful clothes in a beautiful garden. Very comfortable life. If that was you, you'd be very happy. And can we clarify the Three of Swords, please, for Aquarius? Okay, King of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, I'll hold that a little bit closer. See the King of Pentacles. Again, on both these cards, you can see that the light is falling on the gold, on their money, on their wealth. Ace of Wands is also a singular energy, so somebody being creative, somebody very much in a strong position, having authority. Let's clarify the next row. King of Pentacles is somebody perhaps holding on to the money a little bit too tightly. This is a card that is generally somebody like a captain of industry, somebody who is wealthy, self-assured, in a position of power and authority. Often somebody who's very rich. But in reverse, it can mean perhaps that this person is not sharing or using their wealth in an appropriate manner. Perhaps they're hoarding their wealth instead of using their wealth to build or to gain some enjoyment out of life or to share with people. It's attached to the Heartbreak card, so we'll clarify this a little bit further as we look at the whole reading. Can we clarify the Sun, please, for Aquarius? Lovely card. It's a card of innocence. Oh, the Tower. Okay, you've got the Tower. Now the Tower is all about sudden and dramatic changes. Now, I did talk about before that if this card related to the birth of a child, for example, in that case, the birth of a child is not a bad thing, it's a happy thing, but it absolutely changes everything about the way you live your life. Your nights will be disrupted, the kind of food you eat will be disrupted, the spare time you have will be disrupted, everything about your life will suddenly change once you've had a child. So even though that card, the Tower, looks very dramatic and a little bit frightening, it's not necessarily an indication of something really bad happening. If it was, say, for example, associated with the birth of a child, it wouldn't be a negative event. It just means it's a life-changing event. Okay, let's have a little look first. We'll clarify Death again next to the Tower. This is telling me a way of life is completely changing. Again, see, Death here is, if it's next to the Tower like this, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Considering it's next to the Sun, I'd say it's a happy event, even something like the birth of a child. But your way of life, as you know it, will be completely changed. You will no longer be the same person. And your whole family life will no longer be the same. Everything about your family life changes. The people around you will welcome the child, and the way they look at you will change. Let's clarify death, please, for Aquarius. Whoa, 2 cards. Okay, we'll take both. So we have celebration, 3 of Cups, upright. Happy times, something to celebrate. King of Cups in reverse. So I'll turn the King of Cups up the right way. King of Cups, he's in reverse. Now in reverse, he can suggest somebody very controlling and manipulative. And in this case, I'm also very much aware of the water. So this could perhaps mean a trip overseas or a trip somewhere, maybe being postponed. I'll tuck that in there. But the negative aspects of the King of Cups, or the reverse aspects of the King of Cups, would be somebody who is very manipulative, somebody who only wants their way, and I'm getting that sense of this very much at the moment with this card. Somebody who wants it all their way. They want everything to suit themselves. I'm not quite sure how that ties in just yet. It's under the Magician. Let's have a look. We'll clarify the 8 of Cups, please. For Aquarius. 8 of Cups for Aquarius, please. Okay. 9 of Wands in reverse. 9 of Wands. So that's a creative energy. Somebody who's, usually this card is associated with tasks that are almost complete. You've only got a little bit more to go. But since it's under the 8 of Cups, I'm feeling that you're going to leave those tasks behind. They're just too hard to complete right now. Maybe they're just too much for you and you've decided to walk away. And it's underneath these wand cards as well. So I think maybe that the projects that you were so engaged with, you end up walking away from them. But we'll clarify a little bit more. I'll clarify the 10 of Cups, please. Usually a very happy card. Clarify the 10 of Cups for Aquarius, please. Whoops, again 2 cards. Okay, we'll take them both. We've got 5 of Wands, which is sort of battles. I'll call them battles. But again, a lot of wand energy here and cup energy. And the other one is the 6 of Pentacles, and that's usually about having sufficient funds to be able to share. Being generous, sharing a little bit with charity, sharing a little bit with family. It's interesting that it's here attached to these argument sort of card, what I call battle or argument kind of card, and then the King of Pentacles up here is in reverse. Perhaps there have been some squabbles and quarrels about money and how it's spent, and maybe you feel it's not being shared evenly in your household, or maybe with your partner, or maybe with your family. Maybe it's not distributed evenly, or you feel that it's inequitable somehow. And then that's followed by sort of feeling out in the cold. Maybe there are insufficient funds and you're having financial worries. And you know, we all around the world, everybody's having problems with interest rate rising and inflation. Perhaps there's some mortgage stress here. Anyway, we'll clarify that card. We'll clarify the 5 of Pentacles, please, for Aquarius. Okay, the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, whatever's coming about, there's not much you can do about it. It's just, it's something beyond your control. Okay. All right, well, I'll just take a little bit more of a look at these cards now that I've got them all out. I am actually thinking that there's perhaps a baby or a new venture, but maybe you've just started a business and had to take out a loan. Or this is recent, so in the recent past, either a baby has been born into the family, because it's very dramatic change here, very, very dramatic, end of a cycle, complete destruction of the way of life as you know it, a whole new death, so to speak, and a new beginning coming. Under the Magician. So something's happened here in your recent past. Now, I do think either a baby's been born or you've started a new venture, you're celebrating and enjoying everything, but your whole way of life somehow has come to an end. The life that you knew it has come to an end. And we're coming here into kind of the present time. Highly creative, highly fertile, resplendent in their robes. They're good creative energy here. But here, maybe you've put everything into it and you just feel you can't do any more and you're walking away. Or maybe, if it was the birth of a child, maybe you feel that there's so much work involved, you didn't realise how much work was involved, and you're like, oh my goodness, when am I ever going to get to go out again? When am I ever going to get to have a shower on time? When am I ever going to get to eat on time? And that feeling of sort of, wow, I've left that whole way of life behind. I don't even feel like I'm me anymore. That can also be associated with the birth of a child. So it's either creative, I'm not quite sure whether it's a creative project you've started or whether a child has been born into your family. And either way, if the project has suddenly come to an end for some reason, you're celebrating here. This is highly creative energy here. And also this one here, the Nine of Pentacles, that's quite a positive card. I mean, that's independent wealth, sort of, but it could be you taking command of your own finances. We'll have a look. The fact that it's next to the King of Pentacles, which is the outcome. King of Pentacles means, I think, somebody who's a little bit greedy, perhaps somebody who's not sharing the way they should be sharing, not picking up their end of the responsibilities, perhaps not carrying sufficient of the burden, and that's giving you heartache. Maybe you expected this person to share in the financial load more. So again, it's two things. It's either kind of like a new business or a new venture or a new. I don't think it's a job. I think it's probably. It doesn't feel like a job. It feels more like it would be your own business or a venture that you've started, or the birth of a child. I mean, we've got the world above and the sun below. I'm very much thinking it might be the birth of a child. And maybe suddenly your financial situation is slightly less. You were hoping that maybe you would be able to manage better. Perhaps the economic climate has given you a bit of a shock, and then with a baby on top of it, maybe it's all feeling a little bit too much. I'm feeling that you can't give any more, and that might be to the venture. Or maybe you don't care anymore about the things you cared about before. That's the other thing that's possible. I mean, it's kind of like if a baby comes into your life, you stop caring about the things that you used to care about. The things you thought were so important are no longer important. And your thoughts here about financial security, days of happiness with the children, it might feel all like a bit of a turmoil. It might feel like you're battling against yourself. That's another thing that could be happening. You could have inner conflict. It's quite difficult adjusting to a new baby. And feeling perhaps, will I ever get to that point where we can go out, we can have good times? I'd love to go out, I'd love to share, I'd love to party with my friends. Maybe that sense of the change is kind of knocking you around a little bit. The heartbreak card here is a little bit of a worry at the end. And that could be associated with, and I'm using the analogy of a baby coming into a family again. It could be anything. If it was to do with a business venture of some sort that you've started, if this person or your financial situation is not as strong as you'd hoped it would be, that can cause a lot of pain. Anxiety, worry, pain. This is more of a heartache kind of a card. So perhaps the relationship between a couple here, she's feeling independently wealthy and strong, but this person's not carrying the load sufficiently, and maybe that's caused some heartbreak for you. But this feeling of destitution is not long-lived. Usually you can organise yourself so that you can just take some time to focus on your finances and see what else can be done. It does feel very inevitable. This Wheel of Fortune card tells me that whatever circumstances are on the table here, some of it's quite out of your control, which is interesting. You've sort of got the wheel at the beginning and the wheel at the end. It's a kind of a wheel anyway, and a wheel at the end. So whatever's happened in the recent past, and I've got a feeling it's a baby, but I could be wrong. That's kind of it changes your circumstances inevitably. That's kind of. I might clarify this card with one more card, just out of curiosity. Can we clarify the Three of Swords, please, for Aquarius, and the King of Pentacles in reverse? I might just take a couple of cards. Whoa, here we go. Oh, the Moon. Okay. And that's in reverse. I'll just look at that one for a moment. And the King of Wands, again, upright. Okay, so that's in reverse. The Moon is sort of a sense of perhaps illusion, disappointment, not being realistic perhaps about something. King of Wands, again, still a creative energy, and that's carrying along from here, so it's interesting. So maybe things haven't changed quite as much as you think it has. For some reason you're feeling pain. But if it's to do with somebody who's keeping a very tight rein on the finances and you're not used to it, particularly if you're somebody who's used to buying beautiful clothes and having nice things, and suddenly have to rein in the budget a little bit, that can cause quite a lot of pain. So I'm thinking perhaps that here with the Moon card, perhaps you weren't aware of all the things associated with this event. But I'm actually getting a very strong sense of a baby being born here. In which case it's a joyous event, and all of these cards are really just adjustments. You know, it takes some time. Having a baby is totally life-changing. You don't adjust to that in even 1 year. It takes longer. It's getting used to the idea that you're no longer you're now we. And being we instead of I is sometimes a difficult mental process to adjust to. But I don't feel that it's all bad. I actually think a lot of this is sort of mental adjustment. This actually feels reasonably much the same. The energy is still good here. I think the energy is still good. You're still the same people. You just got some aspects, adjustments perhaps here to your budget and the way of spending, causing you heartache, perhaps sometimes longing for your old life. The carefree days are over. And also, feeling that there's not this sort of endless supplies of money that you have before children. But if you look at this card here too in the window, you look in the window and you'll see an anchor behind the pentacles. And that's a sign of hope. So don't give up hope. Everything hasn't changed for the long term. Even if they're walking in the snow, it's kind of winter doesn't last forever. So if you're going through hard times, it doesn't last forever. And because you've got the Wheel of Fortune there, that tells me that this is just something that's come about totally beyond your kind of control at the moment. But again, the wheel turns. It always turns. Things never stay the same forever. So I think that's about it for you, Aquarius. If you are having trouble adjusting, just give yourself some time. Don't be so hard on yourself. It takes time to adjust to changes in your circumstances, and it looks like you've had a dramatic change here. You've also celebrated. It's interesting, you've got celebration and death on top of one another. And the King of Cups in reverse. And again, if it is having a baby, your emotions are up and down. You're overjoyed with the baby, and the next minute you're sort of down and feeling low about yourself. You don't look good, you don't feel good, you didn't think it would be like this. I don't care anymore, but you do care. You're still the same person. It's just this adjustment process. I'm assuming that this reading is specific for some Aquarians and not for everyone. If it was a new business venture, again, I think the creativity is still here. Perhaps you just feel you can't put in as much effort as you used to. Maybe there's been some squabbling here about finances and how happy things have been making you feel. And there is a little bit of a difficult time ahead by the looks of it. Some adjustment, some times of adjustment, perhaps pulling in the budget a little bit. But the energy is still creative and positive, so don't lose hope. Hang on to your hope. It may only be short-lived, and sometimes these readings, a tarot reading like this, can be sort of recent. This is recent past. That could be anything from a week to 2 weeks ago, or 3 months ago, present, and your circumstances can change within a week or so, even right up to 3 months from now, because normally a tarot reading doesn't go beyond 6 months at the most. So I hope you're okay with this, Aquarius, and thank you for watching. Try and enjoy your life. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.